Yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend on the phone, and he said to me, I wish my rabbi would challenge me more. And I wasn't sure what he meant by that. So I asked him, and he said, I want to be challenged. I want to be a better Jew. And I wish the rabbi would push me at that. I thought, okay, that's interesting. Do you really need a rabbi to push you at that? How do you push oneself? It created a lot of questions in my head. Then I thought about this week's parsha, Behar and Bechukotai, and it starts off with the mitzvah Shemitah. Jewish people in the land of Israel have to let the land rest every 7 years. And I thought about that for a moment, and I said, that takes a lot of faith in God that you're going to have enough food to last you in your 7th year, not working your field. The question even becomes greater when you have a jubilee, meaning after 7-year cycle of 7 Shmitot, you have to let your land rest not only for the 7th year, but the 8th year. So now you're not going to have food for 2 years. You're going to have to wait into the 9th year, so into the 3rd year before you even have any fruits to eat. And I thought about that, and I said, yeah, when one is working their fields, they're doing work, we become complacent in our relationship with God. At least I do. But it's only when you're forced and your hand is forced where you have to rest and say, is it my efforts or is this really coming from God? Now, we know it's a combination of both, of course, but ultimately, where's the source of blessing? So Shemitah sort of changes things up, changed the status quo in one's faith with God. And then it got me to think, how do I want to be challenged? What am I doing about my own spiritual growth? Now, I think about in the physical realm, when it comes to exercise, building muscle, people are challenging themselves all the time. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to do a bike race. I'm going to do X amount of push-ups. I can lift X amount of weights. And that's pretty cool, and people are proud of those accomplishments. They got their smartwatch. They got their smart app. I know how many steps I took today. And I said, how do you overlay that in the spiritual realm? How many things have I done today to enhance, how many steps have I taken to enhance my neshama or my relationship with Hashem? That's a big challenge. Now, sometimes we can do it ourselves. Sometimes we need a rabbi or a friend to challenge us, to tell us maybe we're not behaving the best way. And sometimes Hashem intervenes. But it's all about the growth. So I wonder, and I'd like to put this out there, that when we think about our physical health and well-being, to also take a moment to think about our spiritual health and well-being. And that's maybe what the idea of Shemitah is about. Every 7 years, you got to check in. What did people do during the time of Shemitah? They went to yeshiva. They went to sit and learn. Time that they didn't have when they were working their fields. It was a time out to be reflective and say, what do I need to challenge my neshama, my soul, to have a better and healthier relationship with my Creator and those about me? If you like what you hear, please pass it on. Shabbat Shalom.